Some MSC cruise ships will give you the best vacation of your life, but others? They might leave you feeling trapped, disappointed, and wondering if you booked the wrong ship. MSC has one of the biggest and most diverse fleets in the world, from small, classic ships that feel like floating time capsules, to massive futuristic megaships that are basically cities at sea. But here's the truth. Not every ship is created equal. Some are worth every penny, and some are ships you'll want to avoid at all costs. So in this video, I'm ranking every single MSC cruise ship from worst to best for 2025. And I'm not holding back. You'll get the hidden pros, the frustrating cons, the destinations you need to know about, and the exact kind of traveler each ship is best or worst for. I've sailed on many of these ships myself, so you're not just getting the brochure version, you're getting the real insider perspective. And trust me, some of these rankings are going to surprise you. In fact, the number one ship on this list? It's not just MSC's best. It's one of the most ambitious cruise ships ever built, and if you miss it, you might miss the future of cruising itself. Let's jump in and start from the worst ships. Number 25, MSC Armonia. When you step aboard MSC Armonia, the first of the Lyrica-class ships, it feels like a trip back in time. At just under 60,000 tons and carrying fewer than 2,700 passengers, it's one of MSC's oldest and smallest ships. The design is traditional, with plenty of wood tones and a compact atrium that feels more like a classic hotel lobby than a modern cruise spectacle. Entertainment is simple: one main pool, cozy lounges, and a theater for nightly shows. The dining experience leans heavily Italian, reliable but not adventurous, and the buffet can feel repetitive compared to the endless variety you'd find on newer ships. Cabins are compact, and while there are balconies, they're much smaller than the glass front terraces offered on MSC's latest megaships. But Armonia isn't about flashy thrills, it's about the destinations. Summers are spent in the Mediterranean, winters in South America, and for budget-conscious couples or seniors, it's a quiet and affordable way to see the world. I'll never forget walking aboard and feeling like I'd stepped into the early 2000s. A nostalgic charm, yes, but also a reminder of just how far cruise design has come. And if you think Armonia feels old, wait until you see its sisters. Number 24, MSC Sinfonia. This ship was built just a year later, but with a slightly different spirit. It's intimate, cozy, and often much quieter than larger ships, which attracts a calmer crowd. There's just one main pool and a modest theater, and families will quickly notice that kids' facilities are almost an afterthought here. Dining remains very straightforward: Italian classics in the main dining room and a dependable but repetitive buffet. What sets Sinfonia apart is its itineraries, from Greek Isles hops to repositioning cruises that stretch all the way to Africa. It's a ship for travelers who value destinations more than deck attractions. I remember sitting in the theater in Sinfonia. It wasn't glamorous, but it was intimate. You could hear people laughing, clapping, even whispering to each other. It felt like being part of a small community rather than lost in a crowd of thousands. But of course, intimacy can feel like a double-edged sword. Number 23, MSC Lyrica. Then we come to MSC Lyrica itself, the namesake of the class. At just over 65,000 tons, it's compact and easy to navigate. By the second day on board, you'll know exactly where everything is, a sharp contrast to the city-at-sea layouts of the newest ships. But that same convenience also highlights its limitations. There's only one main pool, which often feels crowded on sea days. The entertainment is traditional lounge music and theater performances, without the cutting-edge tech or massive production shows MSC is now known for. Cabins are functional but modest, with small balconies and dated interiors, though still clean and comfortable. Most of its routes are classic Eastern and Western Mediterranean itineraries, often sailing out of Venice or Ancona, which makes it a favorite for European cruisers who want a quiet, affordable getaway. On my own sailing, what struck me most was how quickly I got oriented. No maps, no wandering. By day 2, I could find every bar, every lounge, every cafe. It made the cruise feel easy. But the very simplicity that makes it convenient is also what holds it back compared to the newer giants. Number 22, MSC Opera. Finally, there's MSC Opera, the last of the Lyrica class. Opera carries just under 2,700 passengers and, like its sisters, it's compact and straightforward. There's no sprawling promenade, no towering water slides, just a modest pool deck, a few lounges, and a reliable theater. Dining is serviceable, with Italian staples forming the backbone of every menu. But don't expect the culinary variety of the larger MSC ships. Cabins, though refurbished, remain small and somewhat dated, but they do the job. Where Opera shines is in its itineraries. Because of its size, it can dock in ports larger ships can't access, which often makes for unique journeys. Week-long Mediterranean sails, Red Sea repositionings, and even longer voyages where the destinations are the true highlight. I once took Opera on a repositioning sailing, and while the ship itself felt compact, the itinerary was spectacular. It's the kind of cruise where you spend more time ashore than on board, and in that sense, the ship becomes a reliable gateway rather than the main attraction. And with Opera, that chapter closes, the end of MSC's older, smaller Lyrica class, and the beginning of a bold new era in ship design. Stepping up from the Lyrica class, you immediately feel the difference with MSC Musica, the first of this new generation. Number 21. MSC Musica. At 92,000 tons, it's significantly larger, carrying more than 3,000 passengers, and its design finally feels like the cruise industry had entered a new era. The atrium stretches tall and gleaming with glass elevators, marble staircases, and a piano suspended over a small glass floor. The kind of visual centerpiece you'd expect from a modern ship. Entertainment suddenly feels bigger, too. Multiple pools, a larger theater, and lounges that hum with energy late into the night. Dining broadens beyond the basics, with specialty restaurants giving passengers new variety. Cabins are more spacious, with balconies that feel like genuine extensions of the room. What struck me most on Musica was that sense of scale. I remember walking into the atrium and thinking, okay, MSC has officially joined the big leagues. Yet at the same time, compared to today's megaships, Musica still feels manageable. It's a fascinating midpoint, big enough to impress, small enough to feel personal. But Musica was only the start. Number 20. MSC Orchestra. This ship took everything Musica started and refined it. Built a year later, it carries around 3,200 passengers and boasts even more diverse itineraries, often splitting its seasons between the Mediterranean and exotic destinations like South Africa. The orchestra feels livelier, more international, drawing a mix of families, couples, and older cruisers who want a balance of relaxation and entertainment. On board, you'll find expanded sports facilities, more music-themed lounges, and a buffet that finally feels roomy compared to the cramped layouts of the Lyrica class. I once sailed Orchestra on a Mediterranean itinerary, and I'll never forget a late-night moment in the outdoor bar area. Live music playing, people laughing in a dozen different languages, the warm sea breeze wrapping around the deck. It was one of those nights that reminded me how international MSC truly is. But Orchestra is just the second step in this lineup, and the next two sisters added even more flair. Number 19. MSC Posia. MSC Posia was launched in 2008, and it's arguably the most stylish of the Musica class. Posia leans into elegance, with sleeker decor, dramatic artwork, and a slightly more refined vibe than its predecessors. The atrium is striking, the lounges feel more intimate, and the outdoor spaces flow beautifully from pool deck to open-air bars. Posia often sails itineraries across the Caribbean and Northern Europe, giving it a broader global presence. Dining remains similar to Orchestra, but the specialty restaurants feel more polished. I remember walking into Posia's theater for the first time. The scale and sound design were a real leap forward. It was the kind of space that made you think, this is no longer a budget cruise line. This is a serious competitor. And yet, Posia kept that approachable mid-size feel, the sweet spot between the old-world charm of Lyrica and the flashy ambition of MSC's newer behemoths. Still, if Posia felt elegant, its sister MSC Magnifica raised the bar again. Number 18. MSC Magnifica. Finally, we have MSC Magnifica, the last and arguably the crown jewel of the Musica class. At just under 96,000 tons, it edges out its sisters in size and features. Magnifica added a covered pool with a retractable roof, which suddenly made it an all-weather ship, perfect for itineraries beyond the sunny Mediterranean. Inside, you'll find expanded specialty dining, a larger spa, and entertainment that feels richer and more varied. Cabins are comfortable and modern for their era, and the yacht club concept, MSC's ship-within-a-ship luxury retreat, began to take stronger shape here. I once sailed Magnifica on a Northern Europe itinerary, and having that indoor pool space made all the difference. While the North Sea winds howled outside, families swam under glass and lounged in warm, tropical comfort. It was a reminder that Magnifica wasn't just about destinations. It was built to deliver the cruise experience no matter the weather. And as the last of its class, it set the stage for MSC's leap into even bigger, more ambitious territory. Number 17. MSC Fantasia. When MSC Fantasia debuted in 2008, it wasn't just another ship, it was a statement. At 137,000 tons, Fantasia was nearly 40% larger than Magnifica, suddenly putting MSC in the same conversation as Royal Caribbean and Carnival when it came to scale. Step inside and the shift is immediate. The atrium gleams with Swarovski crystal staircases, chandeliers shimmer above the marble floors, and the decor radiates luxury with a touch of Italian drama. Fantasia was also the first to introduce the MSC Yacht Club, an exclusive ship-within-a-ship sanctuary where guests enjoy private lounges, fine dining, and even a butler. On the open decks, multiple pools, a Formula One simulator, and 4D cinema raised the entertainment bar. I remember walking into the yacht club for the first time. The contrast was surreal. Chaos on the main pool deck below, serenity and quiet luxury above. Fantasia changed what MSC could be, but as bold as it was, its sister took things even further. Number 16. MSC Splendida. This cruise ship was launched in 2009 and was essentially Fantasia with a touch more refinement. Carrying over 3,200 passengers, it leaned into the luxury feel even more strongly, while still offering the high-energy public spaces that MSC was known for. Splendida became a fan favorite for longer Mediterranean runs and voyages into the Middle East. Its interiors were slightly warmer, its yacht club more polished, and its dining rooms buzzed with international flair. One night on board, I remember watching a group of Italian guests break into spontaneous singing in the main dining room, the kind of authentic, cultural moment you only get on MSC. Splendida perfectly balanced grandeur with authenticity, showing that these megaships could still carry the spirit of Europe with them. But then came Divina, and it wasn't just an evolution, it was a tribute. Number 15. MSC Divina. This ship was launched in 2012, carried with it a touch of celebrity glamour. Christened in Miami with Sophia Loren as its godmother, Divina was designed to appeal to both European and American markets. It brought MSC's signature elegance, but with more modern, resort-like touches, infinity pools, enhanced spa spaces, and a black and white motif that felt sleek and cinematic. Its yacht club was more expansive, its cabins more polished, and its entertainment sharper. I once boarded Divina for a Caribbean itinerary, and I'll never forget that feeling of walking up the sweeping staircase in the atrium, crystal steps glittering under the lights, with live music floating down from above. It was pure theater. Divina symbolized MSC's arrival in the U.S. market, a ship meant to prove the line could stand shoulder to shoulder with American giants. Yet as glamorous as Divina was, its younger sister would bring something new, a little more intimacy, and a lot more character. Number 14. MSC Presiosa. MSC launched Presiosa in 2013. While built on the same Fantasia-class platform, it carved out its own personality. Presiosa is often described as the most stylish of the group, with jewel-toned interiors, a sweeping golden staircase in the atrium, and a warmer, more inviting feel compared to Divina's sleekness. One of its standout features is the Vertigo water slide, once the longest single-rider slide at sea, which snakes down its side, with a transparent section that lets you see the ocean rushing below. I remember watching kids, and more than a few adventurous adults, queuing up just to feel that rush of sliding over the sea. Presiosa's itineraries often explore the Mediterranean and South America, and it has a loyal following among those who appreciate its blend of glamour and family fun. But as bold and dazzling as the Fantasia class was, they were just the foundation. What MSC unleashed next would redefine scale yet again. Number 13. MSC Maraviglia. By 2017, MSC wasn't just trying to compete with the giants of the cruise world, they wanted to outdo them. That's where MSC Maraviglia came in. Its very name means wonder, and stepping aboard, you immediately understand why. The Grand Promenade feels like walking through a futuristic city street, with an enormous LED sky dome arching overhead, shifting from sunsets to starry nights in breathtaking displays. I'll never forget my first evening on board. The ceiling lit up with a cascade of falling blossoms, and for a moment, the entire promenade froze in silence as everyone tilted their heads skyward. It was pure magic. Beyond the spectacle, Maraviglia offered Cirque du Soleil-style shows, high-tech entertainment, and more dining options than ever before. But as incredible as it was, its younger sister would take those ideas and push them into overdrive. Number 12. MSC Bellisima. It was launched in 2019. If Maraviglia was the prototype, Bellisima was the refined version. Carrying more than 4,500 passengers, it doubled down on entertainment and luxury touches. The LED domes stretched even longer, its theater was fine-tuned for immersive productions, and its specialty restaurants offered a truly global mix, from French patisseries to Japanese teppanyaki. I remember strolling the promenade one night when Bellisima's LED ceiling transformed into a giant aquarium, whales, fish, and corals floating overhead. People clapped as if it were live theater, and in that moment, it felt like the ship itself was alive. Bellisima also became a star in Asia before returning to Europe, showing how flexible MSC had become in catering to different cultures. But even it wasn't the pinnacle. Number 11. MSC Grandiosa. This ship lives up to its name. Launching in 2019 as the first of the Maraviglia Plus class, Grandiosa took the already massive Maraviglia design and stretched it, adding even more public spaces and a longer promenade. But the real game changer was its focus on sustainability, with advanced environmental systems making it a leader in its class. On board, the Galleria Grandiosa is an experience in itself, with new specialty dining and a massive, ever-changing LED ceiling. The new L'Atelier Bistro is a standout, offering a slice of Parisian sophistication. I remember sailing on Grandiosa and feeling the sheer scale of the ship. The promenade was so long and filled with so much to do that it was easy to get lost in the atmosphere and forget you were even on a ship. Grandiosa proved that bigger really could be better. Number 10. MSC Virtuosa. MSC launched Virtuosa in 2021, and this ship took the Maraviglia Plus concept to another level of technological innovation. It has everything Grandiosa offers, but with a few key upgrades. The most talked about feature is the MSC Starship Club, which is home to Rob, the first ever humanoid robotic bartender at sea. Guests can order a custom cocktail and watch Rob mix it with mesmerizing precision, all while he chats in multiple languages. It's an interactive show in itself. I remember watching Rob in action. The bar was packed with people laughing and taking pictures. It felt like a scene from a sci-fi movie. Virtuosa has become a favorite for UK sailings and also features an expanded shopping gallery. This ship isn't just a place to travel, it's a destination for the future of cruising. Number 9. MSC Seaside. After the futuristic leap of the Maraviglia class, MSC decided to try something different. A ship designed not just for spectacle, but for sunshine. That's where the Seaside class comes in, starting with MSC Seaside in 2017. Nicknamed the ship that follows the sun, it was built with an outdoor lifestyle in mind. Wide, wraparound waterfront promenades let you walk almost the entire ship at sea level, passing bars, pools, and open-air dining terraces. It feels less like you're stuck inside a vessel and more like you're strolling a Miami boardwalk. I still remember one morning coffee outside at Seaside's aft, the sound of waves crashing just below, the sea breeze mixing with the smell of fresh espresso. It felt like the ship was bringing me as close to the ocean as humanly possible. But Seaside wasn't just about relaxation. Its bold design made it one of the most eye-catching ships sailing the Caribbean, and it laid the foundation for something even bigger. Number 8. MSC Sea View. That something was its twin sister, MSC Sea View, launched in 2018. If Seaside was the bold experiment, Sea View was the refinement. With even more glass, panoramic elevators, and a dramatic glass skywalk high above the sea, Sea View felt like an architectural statement, one that blurred the line between ship and shore. Walking across that glass bridge, I had the strange sensation of floating in midair, with nothing but blue ocean hundreds of feet below me. People around me hesitated at first, holding their breath before stepping out, but once they did, laughter followed, that mix of fear and wonder MSC was aiming for. Sea View also added more shaded outdoor lounges, making it feel less like a crowded resort and more like a private escape. Yet as impressive as these ships were, MSC wasn't done. Because in 2021, they pushed the seaside concept to an even grander scale. Number 7. MSC Seashore. The largest of the trio and a ship that elevated everything the Seaside class was meant to be. Longer, sleeker, and packed with expanded outdoor dining, Seashore added a New York-inspired design twist. The aft infinity pool was extended dramatically, creating one of the most breathtaking views at sea. I'll never forget standing there at dusk, the pool glowing a soft turquoise as the sun dipped behind the horizon. It felt like a postcard come to life. And while most passengers lounged with cocktails in hand, I noticed others just quietly staring out at the endless Atlantic, lost in thought. Seashore has a way of giving you both the excitement of a resort and the serenity of the open ocean. But as striking as it is, MSC had another trick up its sleeve. Number 6. MSC Seascape. This cruise ship is the most recent and most innovative ship in the Seaside class. Launched in 2022, MSC Seascape took the successful Seaside EVO design and added more space and even more thrill. Its signature attraction is the Robotron, a thrilling robotic arm ride that spins guests over the side of the ship with a personalized playlist. I've seen videos of this ride and it looks wild, a perfect fit for its Miami homeport. Seascape also features a New York City-inspired Times Square area with a massive LED wall that feels like a real city street at sea. Its itineraries are focused on the sunny Caribbean, and it's built to handle the heat with even more shaded areas and pools. Seascape is the ultimate party ship of the fleet, a perfect blend of high-tech thrills and tropical relaxation. Number 5. MSC World Europa. Just when it seemed MSC had perfected the resort-style cruise with Seascape, they unveiled something that made even seasoned travelers pause in disbelief: the World Class. These ships aren't just large, they're colossal, built to carry more than 6,700 passengers. At first glance, Europa doesn't look like any cruise ship you've ever seen. Its open Y-shaped stern splits down the middle, creating a canyon-like promenade filled with restaurants, lounges, and bars under a canopy of glass. Walking through it feels more like Times Square at sea than a traditional ship. I remember standing in the middle one evening as live music played, lights flashed, and people leaned over balcony rails from multiple decks above. It was electric, the kind of energy that makes you forget you're even floating on the ocean. And of course, dominating the space is the Venom Drop, a gleaming stainless steel dry slide that spirals 11 decks down, daring passengers to take the plunge. I'll never forget watching a line of teenagers cheer on their friend before he zipped down screaming, the crowd erupting in laughter as he popped out at the bottom. Europa also introduced a new neighborhood concept, including a Zen district for adults and dedicated spaces for families. It feels less like a cruise ship and more like an entire floating resort city. And yet, as futuristic as Europa is, the real question became, where could MSC possibly go from here? Number 4. MSC World America. This mighty cruise ship is set to debut in 2025. And unlike its sister designed for Europe and the Middle East, World America is purpose-built for the US market. Picture everything that made Europa spectacular, but adapted to American tastes. Expanded dining inspired by New York and Miami, larger open-air pool decks designed for Caribbean sun, and even a redesigned central promenade with more family-friendly attractions. I've walked Europa and thought, this already feels like a city. But from the early deck plans I've seen for World America, it's clear MSC is aiming for something even bolder. A floating metropolis where every type of traveler, from luxury seekers to families with kids, can find their own neighborhood. Imagine standing on that same split-stern promenade, but with live Latin music echoing across the decks, the smell of barbecue and Tex-Mex drifting from outdoor grills, and fireworks lighting up the sky during sail away from Miami. It's MSC's boldest bet yet to win over the North American market. Number 3. MSC Uribia. This cruise ship is not just a leap forward for its class. It's a powerful statement about the future of cruising. Launched in 2023, Uribia is the second of the Maraviglia Plus ships to run on liquefied natural gas, LNG, making it a leader in environmental sustainability. The most striking feature is its one-of-a-kind hull, covered in a vibrant and detailed mural dedicated to the ocean and its preservation. It's the first ship where the art starts on the outside. On board, it has the same grand promenade as its sisters, but with a more sophisticated, nature-inspired feel. Its itineraries often take it to the scenic fjords of Northern Europe, where its eco-friendly technology is put to the test. I'll never forget seeing pictures of this ship for the first time. It was a beautiful combination of advanced technology and a profound message about protecting the seas it sails. Number 2. Explorer 1. This isn't just another ship. It was MSC's bold leap into the luxury cruise world. With fewer than 1,000 guests, every cabin is a suite, and every detail is dialed up to pure indulgence. Imagine Michelin-inspired dining, an infinity pool that feels like it spills straight into the horizon, and crew members who know your name by day 2. I once met a couple on board who said, "We've cruised for 20 years, but this was the first time we didn't feel like passengers. We felt like residents of a private yacht." That's exactly the energy here. This cruise is best for travelers who want quiet luxury, space to breathe, and personalized service where you feel like royalty. And it is worst for social butterflies who crave big crowds, bustling nightlife, or the buzz of a megaship. Because Explorer 1 is built for calm, not chaos. But if Explorer 1 was the bold experiment, its sister took the formula and perfected it. Number 1. Explorer 2. Topping our list at number 1 is Explorer 2, MSC's newest crown jewel of luxury. Think of it as a refined version of Explorer 1, built on guest feedback and elevated in every way. The same all-suite concept, but with subtle upgrades, sleeker dining spaces, expanded wellness offerings, and even more thoughtful details. One guest told me, "Explorer 1 felt like the future of cruising, but Explorer 2 feels like the future perfected." It's the closest thing MSC has ever created to a floating private club where every corner whispers exclusivity. Best for ultra-luxury seekers, honeymooners, and travelers who want the quiet prestige of being among the first to experience MSC's new luxury brand at its peak. Worst for budget-conscious travelers or anyone who wants the endless activities of a family megaship. Explorer 2 is unapologetically exclusive, and that's exactly why it stands at number 1. And the question it leaves hanging is this. If Europa and America are already megacities at sea, and Explorer is redefining luxury, what could possibly come next in MSC's vision of the future? From the modest Lyrica-class beginnings, where MSC first set sail into the modern era, to the elegant Musica class, the bold grandeur of the Fantasia class, the innovation of the Maraviglia class, and the Miami-inspired playgrounds of the Seaside class, every step was a chapter in a story of ambition. Then came the audacity of the world class, true floating metropolises where thousands live, play, and dream at sea. And finally, the intimate luxury of Explorer journeys, where fewer guests experience more than ever before. 25 ships, 2 decades of design, 1 unstoppable vision. MSC hasn't just built cruise ships, they've built entire worlds, each one bigger, bolder, or more refined than the last. And if the past is any clue, the future will only raise the stakes higher. So here's the real question. When MSC's next ships arrive, will they look like bustling cities or floating sanctuaries of luxury? Or something we can't even imagine yet? One thing's for sure, the evolution of MSC isn't finished. And the only way to know what comes next is to stay watching, because the sea is just beginning to tell its story. So there you have it, all MSC cruise ships ranked from worst to best. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe to the Cruise Pro channel for more informative videos for cruise lovers. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.